Hey Atomic Youth, we're super excited to be able to reach out to you guys, especially as we can't gather together like we normally would. But in light of just wanting to not get rid of Atomic Youth altogether, we've decided to at least provide a video for you guys to watch. And in speaking of that, we've also decided to create a massive challenge for you guys that we're going to run all throughout term 2. If it is still doing really well, we're going to probably continue it through term 3 as well, depending on how isolation goes. Alrighty guys, so before I provide you with any of the rules, we're going to go through a little bit of details first. So each week, a new list of challenges is going to be posted on our Facebook page. The more challenges you complete within each week, the more points you receive. At the end of each of those weeks, we will post the winner and their prize will be either delivered to their door or put in their mailbox. And at the end of the term, at the end of term 2 of course, the challenger with the most overall points will receive a major prize. Definitely send in some submissions, guys, because you aren't going to want to miss out on this prize. Now for some rules. Each of those challenges within each week is worth 1 point, and that's 1 point only. No quarter points, no half points, either 1 point or 0. Now challenges must be completed within the listed week at that time. So if you are already in week 2 and you decide to do a challenge from week 1, we cannot provide you with that point. You had plenty of time in week 1 to do that, only week 2 at that point, all right? And just the final rule, to receive points, you must provide evidence. You have to either film yourself or photograph the artwork or whatever you've had to complete, and send them through either social media or text to either Matthew or myself. You must submit them in that week as well, just in case, so we don't miss any points or anything, all right? All right, definitely keep that up. Alrighty, so the challenges for this week, there's gonna be at least 10 each week, but to start off, you can follow a recipe. This can be sweet, savory, have like 3 ingredients or more, it's up to you guys. As long as you follow a recipe, that's 1 point. Number 2 is to build a pillow fort. I don't care how old you are, if Matt and I are gonna do it, you guys are gonna have to try as well. It's really cool, and it's fun anyway. You can sit down, grab some popcorn, watch a movie while you're there in your pillow fort. And it's nice and warm now that it's starting to get cooler as well. Planking for 1 minute is the 3rd challenge. I struggle around the 30-second, 40-second mark. I'm gonna try it myself with you guys, but it has to be 1 minute straight, so see if you guys can film yourself doing it. We can see if you've edited it too, so please film it correctly. Alrighty, number 4 is make a piece of origami. Whether or not it's a bird, a crane, of course, that's always one of the more popular ones, another animal, or even a diamond shape, make an origami piece. Number 5, growing a salt crystal. You might need to find the instructions online for this, it's not too hard. Basically it requires you to have some salt, some water, preferably a jar, a bit of pencil and a string so that you can suspend your crystal in the water, and eventually this crystal will form on the end of the string. It's really cool. I did it back in high school and primary school too. It's really cool. Alrighty, and the 6th one we're going to do is make a fake commercial. So I don't care if you grab something as simple as a notebook, create a commercial about it, something completely stupid, something completely ridiculous, as say there's something completely new on the market, go for it. It's completely up to you. Be as creative as you want to be. Number 7, I had to give it to you guys. TikTok is the rage at the moment, so make a TikTok video. I don't care if it's you guys dancing, lip syncing to something, whatever you like. The 8th one we're going to do is colouring in a picture. So say if you guys are really artsy crantsy, basically if you want to grab a picture book, if you want to colour that in, I've got quite a few books at home which are just meditation books to colour in, feel free. Number 9, the legendary bottle flip. You have to try and do it 3 times in a row, and you must do that video, 1 video for all 3 in a row. You can't cut it and edit, it has to be all in the same video. And the last challenge for this week is to draw a dream house. That sounds ridiculous, right? But I'm going to throw in a twist. You have to draw this house blindfolded. You may need to get either know your friend or one of your parents to help film this while you do it. But definitely see how many you can do throughout this week. We'll provide a new list next week and we'll see how we go. Alrighty guys, so now with that all said and done, Matt's going to come up and have a chat with you guys about just the simple rainbow.
Hi everybody!
Hi Dr. Nick!
I hope you're all enjoying your isolation.
Meh.
Okay. Well, we've all got to do our own part to stem the spread of this virus and flatten the curve so our health system can handle it. But you've all heard that before. You don't need me to say it, as I've just said it. Alright, well, as you just heard, we've got some activities coming up this term during this time. So we've hoped that they will keep you busy. We'll hope they will keep you entertained. We do ask that you participate. You send through your entries. Again, the more people that participate, the funner it is. You have a chance to win prizes. And at the end of isolations, once we can have youth back, Katie and I will go through all your submits, all your videos, your photos, and put together a compilation so we can look back, have a good laugh, and reminisce about the good fun time that we had even though we were stuck spending time home alone or with our families. And just to add on that, we obviously no longer are having church services in our building anymore, but we are live streaming them every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. You can check them out. Go to www.embracechurchtongala.com.au/online. You can come and join our church as we worship God and see what our services are like from home without having to be here, because at the moment no one can be here. As you've obviously gone around town, if you've been driving around or riding around on your bikes, you've seen rainbows everywhere. People have started putting the rainbow flags around, and I know historically that over the last couple of years that's looked at the LGBTQI community and as a flag for their rights, but what that's been reminding me of is actually a hope, and it's a hope that we get from God that He is for us, He's not against us, and it stems from way back in the Bible, way back in Genesis chapter 9, right? And it starts off where God had created the earth. He'd created, the heavens, the earth. He created all the beasts of the earth, all the things that fly, all the things that live in the ocean, and He created mankind, and He gave mankind breath. But after a number of years, mankind just became evil. The entire world was just full of people who were evil. They did not respect God. They did not want to have a relationship with God. And God got so angry with mankind that He just said, stuff it. I'm going to kill every breathing thing on this earth. But there was one man at that time who was alive and righteous in God's eyes. He followed God with all that he had, and God came to this man. His name was Noah. God said to Noah, I want you to go build me an ark, build me a boat, and then I want you to take you, your sons and their wives on this boat. I'm going to take 2 of every animal onto this boat, because I'm going to flood this earth. I'm going to cover it with water. Okay, and then with you, your family, and the animals, you will survive. Okay, so every other living creature died. For 40 days, rain fell on the earth non-stop. Waters seeped up out of the ground. Springs just started bringing water, and they flooded the earth till even the highest mountain was covered. So there was so much water on the earth it covered the peak of Mount Everest. Right. Every living creature died. There was not a single speck of land. It was just water on the earth. And once this had happened, after 40 days, the rain stopped, and the water slowly started to recede. Months went past, and it was still just slowly receding. The water was going back into the land, back forming seas, back forming the oceans. And Noah and his animals and his family, they were stuck on this boat for nearly 10 months, the Bible tells us. And they just had to live there. They were in isolation themselves. They couldn't leave. They only had their immediate family, because there was no one else. That was just the family. And after this 10 months, Noah sent out a dove from a window of the ark to see if there was land free. And the first time that Noah sent the dove out, it came back with an olive branch, which signified that, trees were now visible. Then the second time, a week later, Noah sent the dove out again, and it never returned, indicating it had found land. So Noah and the boat sat down. Noah opened the doors, and all the animals and the family were able to leave, and they stepped out onto dry land. Okay. And at this point, God created a covenant with Noah. A covenant is a promise that is unbreakable. It's a promise that's supposed to be unbreakable. Okay, and God created a covenant, a promise with Noah and with his sons, that he will never again destroy all living creatures on the earth, all that breathe. And to read about this promise that God made, we can open up the Bibles to Genesis chapter 9, verse 8. It says, "Then God told Noah and his sons, I hereby confirm my covenant with you and your descendants." That's us. That wasn't just Noah's sons or Noah's sons' sons and daughters. It was everyone up until today. We are all descendants of Noah. "I hereby confirm my covenant with you and your descendants, and with all the animals that were on the boat with you, the birds, the livestock, and the wild animals, every living creature on earth. Yes, I am confirming my covenant with you. Never again will floodwaters kill all living creatures. Never again will a flood destroy the earth." Then God said, "I am giving you a sign of my covenant with you and with all living creatures for all generations to come. I have placed my rainbow in the clouds. It is a sign of the covenant with you and with all the earth. When I send clouds over the sky, the rainbow will appear in the clouds, and I will remember my covenant with you and with all living creatures. Never again will the floodwaters destroy all life. When I see the rainbow in the clouds, I remember the eternal covenant between God and every living creature on earth." Then God said to Noah, "Yes, this rainbow is a sign of the covenant I am confirming with all of the creatures of the earth." That's what a rainbow is. Up until this point, up until those rains poured on Noah, there had never been a single drop of rain on the earth. There were springs that were just abundant for all people who needed water up until that point. It had never rained. So there was no need for a rainbow. But now, after God killed every living creature except for those saved on the ark, okay, God sent his rainbow, and his rainbow says to Noah and his descendants, and this is what it says to us today, it is a covenant relationship that God will not destroy us. It gives hope that God still loves us. And we know that because, 4,000 years after this event, God sent Jesus. God sent Jesus to the earth to die for the sins that caused us to be evil, to cause the flood in the first place. Rather than killing us all again, he said, "No, I'm going to send my son, and my son's going to die, and my son's going to take on the place of all the sins. So only he has to die, and not every living creature." So the rainbow is a sign of hope. It's a promise that we can get through this. It's a sign of hope that God is in control. If God had the power back then to flood the earth, he has the power today to flood the earth. But he made a promise, he made a covenantal promise that cannot be broken, to never flood the earth again. The Bible says, in the beginning the Word was God and the Word was with God. That's John 1:1. And the Word is Jesus Christ. If you know the back wall of our church, it says Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So Jesus was with God when God flooded the earth. Jesus was with God when he came to the earth and died instead of everyone else. We know through this time, through this isolation, it can be lonely, it can be depressing. We just want to reach out to you and say, if you need someone to talk to us. Talk to me. You message me, you can message Katie. You have our social media, you have our phone numbers. Okay? If you need to, you can call up other health services, Lifeline. Okay? There are other people out there that you can talk to. Okay? If you're at school or if you're in contact with your teachers, you can talk to them. And they can point you as well and help you get through this time of isolation. Okay? It is possible to get through. I don't know if many of you know this, but this is obviously the first time in my life that we've been in isolation. But in 1918, just after World War II, the Spanish flu was rampant around the world. It was almost as bad as what we're dealing with now, where the entire nation of Australia went into a similar isolation. So that has happened before. We will get through this. Okay? And as you see those rainbows around the town, people putting them on their fences, people putting them in their windows, on their walls of their houses, it's a sign of hope. Okay? That the clouds will not destroy the earth like they once did. That there is always sunshine beyond them. I just want to leave that with you today, that rainbows are a sign of hope. They're a sign of God's promise. Okay? And that Katie and I are here to talk to you if you ever need it. Don't forget to join us Sunday morning, 10 a.m. for our live stream. See you there, guys.